Hello, hi Abdul. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hi TS, good afternoon. I'm doing good.
Okay. So, hope you studied the homeworks which I gave you in the previous class.
Yes, TS, I studied. I will mail you the answer post the session.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay. So, Abdul, these are the topics that we are going to see today. All right.
Okay.
Um, just a minute. So, can you just go through once before going through these topics? So let
Mhm.
me read it for you. Today is the day two of the AWS Terraform learning from scratch. So before getting into in depth of the AWS or Terraform, we must know all these basic terms. Only then we'll be able to grasp the knowledge. All right. So today we are going to see about API gateway, proxy, reverse proxy, load balancer, switch, router, network records, and cluster. All right.
Okay, TS.
Yeah. So Abdul, do you know about IP address?
Uh, Post class you said right.
Okay,
Previous class you said right.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Do you know the expansion of IP address?
Internet protocol.
So IP address is known as Internet Protocol. It has a header and a footer. All right. It
Mhm.
contains source and destination address. All right. So source in
Mhm.
the sense that the address that is your system is having a IP, correct? So it has that address, and the destination is the destination address that you are going to ping.
Okay.
Oh, all right. For example, if you have an IP address like 10.0.0.0.0, okay. So this IP address will look like this. All right. So here
Okay.
it is source, and here it is destination. Okay. So together this forms the packet. This is known as packet, data packets. All right. So this contains the information about your system, your system. All right.
Mm.
This contains your destination network's address. Got it? Any doubts in this?
No TS.
All,
Clear.
all right. So let's move on to the next topic. So the first topic is API gateway. All right. So before going to API gateway, we must understand what is API. So API is known as application programming interface. All right. As the name specifies, it's an interface between two devices or two components. Okay. So example, you have a mobile. One minute. You have a mobile, a socket. All right. You need to charge your mobile now. So you need cable, right?
Mm.
Power cable or charger. All right, charger cable. So this cable is API. Got it? So
Okay.
replace mobile as an operating system. Got it? And socket as an application. Okay. So now you need API between these things. between these two to communicate. Understood? What is an
Okay,
API?
yes. Okay, yes.
Okay. So this application can be even your mobile application, your Facebook or Instagram kind of applications. These use REST API. This is a form. This is one of the APIs. All right. So you can search more about what are the APIs that are available in the market. Got it? So now we will move into the actual terminology, that is API gateway. This is a management tool. Got it?
TS, you missed P. API, you missed P in
Yeah,
between.
I'm sorry, the typo error. So
Okay.
API gateway, it is an API management tool. All right. So this API management tool, it sits between client and server. I mean not client and server, between client and backend services. So the backend services can be either a database server or an application server or anything. Got it?
Okay.
So the architecture will be like, um, you have a client. So any user, end user is a client. Okay. For example, if you are accessing your system from Delhi, okay, so your system is a client now. Got it? And I'm in Bangalore now, so my system is the endpoint, correct? I'm having a server, suppose, okay. So my server is the endpoint. Got it? So now API management tool sits between client and backend services. So client is there, API is here, server is here. Alright. So this sits in between client and server or backend services. Got it? Got it?
Oh, okay, DS.
Yeah. Alright. So now you understood about API gateway, correct? We'll see about these things, how it works, all these things while when we go into the AWS sessions. Okay.
Okay.
So now
This is
uh,
just for basic understanding, correct?
yes, it's just for
It is.
basic understanding, because without
Okay.
understanding these, if I
Hmm.
conduct you AWS sessions, it is going to be a vague one for you. You will hardly
Okay.
understand the things. Okay.
Okay. That time I need to study those things
Yeah, yeah. So instead
separately.
of this, you
Okay.
can study now itself. All right. So what is a proxy? Okay. So proxy is something like when your school and college days, instead of you or instead for your friend, if someone else is giving attendance, it's known as proxy in a layman term. Got it? So instead of you, someone is doing something for you. Okay, that is proxy. Okay. So in networking, proxy means you have a client, okay, called Abdul. Is also it is called as user. Okay. So now there is a proxy server. Okay. All right. And there is internet connection, and there is a web server or web page. As you know, web page is from websites and it's from the web server. All right. So here the user client, that is the user Abdul, wants to access this web server, this web page. Okay. so wants to access this web page. All right, so this user sends the request via proxy. This user sends request via proxy. All right, and then this reaches the internet. From internet it reaches the web page. Understood?
Okay.
So this user wants to access the web page. So instead of directly accessing the web page using a browser, okay, using a browser, he accesses it using a proxy server. Got it? This is the proxy server. So this request which is sending, which will first pass through the proxy server, reaches the internet, and then it reaches the web page. For example, 1 minute. So you are Abdul. Just a moment. Yeah, Abdul, sorry. Just had a interruption. Okay. So did you understand this, Abdul? So you consider you are a user. Okay, you are using a proxy server. This and you want to access this web page. Instead of directly using a browser to access this web page, you are using a proxy server. So your request will first go to this proxy server, then reaches the internet, post which it reaches the web server. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, your IP address is not visible to this web server. Only the proxy server's IP address is visible to this web server. It's a kind of masking your IP address using the proxy server.
Okay.
Understood?
Yeah, like it protecting my details, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the next topic?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the next topic is reverse proxy. So as the name specifies, reverse proxy is nothing but here you are, I mean, like the client is getting protected using a proxy server. Okay. In reverse proxy, the server will get protected. I mean the end server. All right. So let me explain. So this is reverse proxy. Okay. So in reverse proxy, consider Abdul as a user. Okay. And Abdul wants to access a web page. Okay. All right, this can be web page, web server. All right, so here so Abdul wants to access this. Okay, but this won't happen because your request has to bypass the reverse proxy. All right, so this reverse proxy will protect this web server. Understood? For example, when you are sending a request to this web server, it first reaches the reverse proxy server. This reverse proxy server will talk to the end server, that is it will talk to the web page, that is the web server. All right, it will talk to the web server. This web server will send the request that you asked for to the reverse proxy. Got it? And now this reverse proxy will send you the details that you requested. This reverse proxy only will give you the details. Okay, not this web server. It is from web server, but according to you, when you view from your side, the reverse, you will get the requested information from the reverse proxy server. Understood?
Okay.
Okay, so let me give it to you in a very simple way. Okay, so proxy, the client is protected. Okay, in reverse proxy, the server is protected. Understood now?
Okay.
In proxy, the client is protected. Okay, that is, Abdul is sending wants to access the web page. He can directly access through the browser, but he is using a proxy server. So the proxy server masks your IP details, and the proxy server sends your request to the web page. Got it? So consider if the web server is using a reverse proxy server. All right. So in this case, your request will reach the reverse proxy server, and from reverse proxy server it goes to the web server, and web server will send the requested information to the reverse proxy server. The reverse proxy server only will give you the information that you requested. You can't directly hack or access the web page. You have to go through the reverse proxy server. Got it? So this is used by the cyber defense people in order to prevent hacking. All right?
Okay. Like security,
Yes.
someone.
Yes, for
Okay.
security perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next topic. The next topic is load balancer. All right. So as the name specifies, it is used to balance the load, but you must know where and how it balances the load. All right. So consider Abdul, okay, and Kader. Two users are here. Okay. They want to access a web server. All right. This web server and an application server. Okay. So between this users, that is the client, and these servers, the load balancer is placed. Understood? Okay. So whatever request that you send, for example, if Abdul and Kader is sending one request at a time, it's fine. All right. What if both of you send nearly 1,000 requests? Got it?
Okay.
This the traffic that you generate, that you both, I mean, like these two users generate, will first reach the load balancer. The load balancer analyze the traffic, okay, and then it okay, it transfers the load to this web server and application server. Understood? So in a layman term, load balancer is used to disperse the traffic equally to the end service. That is the service behind which the load balancer is placed.
Okay.
This is used in order to maintain the uptime. That is the web server or application server should not be hung, or it should not go down. All right. That is why the load balancer is placed. It equally distributes the traffic. Okay, it equally distributes the traffic. So it equally distributes the traffic to web server and to the application server. Understood?
Okay, TS.
Yeah. So the next topic is a switch. All right. This is not a switch like that you see to switch on your fan and all. This is a network switch we are talking about. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
So the main function of network switch is to connect the devices that are located in a LAN area network, that is local area network. Okay, consider you have a laptop, you have a printer, you have a storage device. Got it? You there, Abdul?
Yeah, yes, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, consider you have a laptop, okay, a server, um, and a printer, okay, and a storage box. Okay, so these devices, okay, so these devices need to be interlinked, correct?
Mm.
This can be possible using cable. Okay, but how communication happens? That is data transfer. For this purpose, switch is used. Understood?
Okay. For for internal communication also, switch is a network switch is need correct.
Yes.
Okay.
See, all these things are in a LAN area network. Laptop, server, printer, storage devices. Okay, and all of these are interlinked using cable.
Mm.
Okay, how this communication will happen between laptop to server, printer, storage devices? How this will happen? Okay, so this will happen using switch. Understood?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, in a layman term, a switch helps the hardware devices to exchange or communicate data packets. Got it?
Mm.
Okay, we also have virtual switch. Okay, it will help virtual network. Okay, this is LAN area network, correct? It will the virtual switch will help virtual network to communicate with each other. One virtual network to communicate with the other virtual network. Understood?
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the next topic is going to be router. All these things are very important terminologies using which you will understand the AWS cloud or Terraform. I mean, this is mandatory for AWS because AWS is, be it AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, everything is 70% is networking terminologies. All right. So what is a router? You have any idea, Abdul?
Uh, as far as I know, name itself it tells it route correct.
Y-
Something it route.
yes,
It
yes. So it is a physical or virtual device.
I mean, sorry to interrupt. It is you missed the T in
Okay.
between router.
All right. All right. So so virtual. So router is a physical or virtual device. Okay, which is responsible for receiving, forwarding, and analyzing data packets among the connected computer network. Got it? For example, uh, let's say one. All right. So consider this as a device named A. Okay. This is a device named B. Okay, this is a device named C, and just a moment, and yeah, this is router. All right. Okay, so all these things are connected. Okay, A is connected to router, B is connected to router, C is connected to router. Okay, now A wants to reach D. Okay, so D, E, F are in network 2. Okay, and this A, B, C are in network 1. Okay, so now A wants to communicate with D. Alright, A wants to communicate with D. A will first send its request to the router. Okay, the router will route A's request to D. Understood? For example, consider D has an IP address of 192.0.0.0. Okay, so A has an IP 10.0.0.0. Okay, so now A wants to reach D. So A will send a request to this router. This router will check its routing table. Okay, so this router has a routing table. Are you getting it, Abdul?
Yeah, TS. Yeah.
Yeah, this has a routing table. Okay, so A wants to access D. A, B, C are in same network. D, E, F are in different network. A wants to access D via router. I mean, it wants to access D, so it sends its request to the router. The router will read its routing table. It analyzes the packet which is sent by A. Based on the routing table, it routes the request to the destination which A asked for. That is D. Understood?
Okay.
Yeah. So are you clear about switch and router now?
Yeah, TS. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be sharing this recording as well in YouTube, and I will send you as well. So please go through it, and if you have any doubts, you can reach me out in the next session. Got it?
Sure.
So the next topic is network records. That is DNS records. Okay. Before that, you must know what is DNS. DNS is domain name service. Alright. It assigns an IP address. It assigns a domain name to its IP address. Got it? So domain name is something like facebook.com or instagram.com or yahoo.com. Got it? So now you have an idea about the domain name, correct?
Mm.
These are all examples. Okay, it can be anything, or even google.com is a domain. All right.
Okay.
So why we need DNS records? Because DNS records helps us to map the domain name with IP address. Okay, but there are different types of DNS records. Okay, we are going to see just 5, that is A record. Okay, so A record is used to store IP address. Okay, so in A record, domain name is mapped with IP address. Okay, so when you ping www.google.com, the request from Abdul reaches Google's DNS server. Okay, DNS server will be having this A record which is mapped with IP address of google.com. Understood? Did you understand, Abdul?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, so when you ping www.google.com, okay, it checks the A record and gives you IP address response. Understand? You understood that?
Oh, okay. Like it, like changing that name to IP address, correct?
Yeah, it stores the value. For example, this domain name this domain name points to this IP address. Okay, so it stores this value. This A record stores this value. Understood?
Okay.
So we just saw A record. We have another thing called AAA record. Not AAA, for A record. This is similar to A record, but this gives IPv6 address. Got it?
Okay.
This A record gives IP address of domain name, correct? This is IPv4, and this is this A record. This AAA record gives IPv6 address. Got it?
Yeah.
Did you understand?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So the next topic is CNAME record. Okay, this CNAME is known as canonical name. Okay, so if you are having www.google.com, this CNAME record stores a subdomain. Okay, that is, it can also it stores the alias name. For example, Abdul can also be called as Aziz. For example, okay, you are having two names. Abdul can also be called as Aziz. Similarly, www.google.com can also be known as www. Give me some examples. YouTube.com. This is just an example. Okay. That means if you send a request to www.google.com, it goes to www.youtube.com. Both gives the same response.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a moment, Abdul. So when you send a request to www.google.com, it doesn't mean you have to know the IP address of youtube.com. Your request should know the IP address of youtube.com. Okay. 1 minute. So, for example, consider you are a user, all right? Okay. So you are a user, Abdul. Okay. You want to access meta.com. Okay. So this meta.com has a CNAME record. Okay. It has a CNAME known as uh, facebook.com. Okay. So you can access meta.com by sending request to facebook.com. Okay, this will help meta.com to mask its IP address. Understood?
Okay.
Understood?
Ah, yeah, yes.
Can you explain me?
Like it will hide, correct?
This is not hiding, all right? So you want to access meta.com. So the meta.com has a CNAME called facebook.com. Okay, so you can access uh, facebook.com. Okay, if someone wants to access meta.com, they can go through via facebook.com. If they send a request to facebook.com, it goes to meta. Okay, but meta.com's IP address is not revealed to you.
Okay.
Understood?
Mm.
Yeah. And just one more thing, Abdul. um, I will give you homework. Okay, just study about NS record and MX record.
Okay, NS and MX, correct?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yes, I'm ready.
Just make a note of it.
Okay.
NS record and MX record. Got it? Study about this. Let me move on to the next topic. So the next topic is cluster. Have you worked on a cluster or heard about cluster, Abdul?
Oh no, yes.
Okay. So cluster is a group of nodes. Nodes in the sense it's server. Alright. Cluster is a group of host that's interlinked to form a common goal. Okay. Did you understand anything from this?
Uh, can you elaborate?
Yeah. So consider we are having three servers. Okay. So this is A, this is B, This is C. All right. So this is A, B, and C. Okay. All these things are grouped together. All right. And also all of them are interlinked. Okay. Got it?
Mm.
And at the top of, consider A as the leader node. Out of these three, one has to be a leader node. In our case, A is the leader node. Okay. So this leader node has a cluster software. This is cluster software. Is at the top of the leader node. Okay. Cluster software. Okay. So using cluster software, this entire box is managed as a single entity. Did you understand, Abdul? Using this cluster software, this entire thing is managed as a single entity.
Okay. All work together, correct?
Yeah. This all forms a single system. Though it's nearly three systems are combined, to the end user it looks like a single system, single server. Understood?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. This is done. This is practice in order to manage high load. Okay. To maintain high availability. Okay. So what is high availability? For example, consider this B server is failed. Okay. Okay. So we have A and C running. So you get a notification that B is failed. You can still, using this cluster software, you can still access this B and you can fix it. Or you can even replace it. Because all these things are interlinked. A is connected with B, A is connected with C. Alright? Did you understand, Abdul? A is connected with I'm just screwing it up. Consider. Okay. So A is connected with B is connected with C, A is also connected with C. Understood? So
Yeah, yeah, it is.
if B fails, A and C are in sync, correct? They are interlinked, correct? You can still access B, or you can still physically access or virtually access B, and you can fix it. Understood? This won't impact the business. Did you understand?
Okay. If A is absent,
No.
B and
Yeah.
C is
Anything is
present.
fine. If A is going
Okay.
down, then B and C is there. If C is going down, A and B is there.
Okay.
Okay. That's how you will do it. This cluster software sits at the top of ABC, using which you can control all these three. Okay.
Okay, it is.
Yeah. So go through all these things, Abdul. Okay. We'll meet up in the next class, probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. All right.
Sure, it is.
Study
Yeah.
all these things. You have a doubt, you'll reach out to me.
Sure, it is. Yeah, I will reach you if I had any doubt.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Abdul. Have a good one.
Thank you, TS. You too.